This demo is about integration with Jira for bug management. In ACRA, during the execution of automation assets, if there are any failure, based on user's choice, ACRA will automatically raise bug in Jira under the mentioned Jira project with complete details about the failure. First, let's log in into the ACRA Cloud account. Now we'll see how to configure Jira account in ACRA and how ACRA raises bug automatically for a failure that occurs during the execution. To configure the Jira account in ACRA, click on Admin Jira Config. Here is where we need to input few details of Jira account to configure. First, we need to enter the Jira URL. So copying the Jira URL, it's enough if we enter the base URL of Jira account. And next we need to enter the username of Jira account. And next we need to enter the API token. This API token can be generated in Jira account. So let's navigate to the Jira account and click on Profile and Settings icon. Click on Account Settings. Click on Security tab in the left side panel. In the Security page, under the API token section, click on Create and Manage API Tokens link. Click on Create API Token button and enter the label name and click on Create button. The API token has been generated successfully. Copy the API token by clicking on Copy button and navigate to the ACRA Cloud and paste the newly generated token. Once after entering the required details, click on Create button. When Create button is clicked, ACRA will communicate with Jira using the given details and it would list the available projects for that particular account. User is allowed to select any one project as a default project and click on Save button. So now I'm selecting the default project as demo and clicking on Save button. Once after configuring the Jira account for a user account, whenever user navigates to the Jira configuration page, the account details will be displayed as such. At any time in the future, user is allowed to edit and update the default project as per the requirements. The next step is to create a new automation execution and run it. In the automation asset management, I have already created the required test set and test case. Also, I have recorded the test steps under this test case. This test case is all about logging into JDE, fastpathing to P01012 application, entering a search type, clicking on find, closing the application and signing out of JDE. To run this test set, we need to create a new automation execution. So clicking on Add Automation Execution button, entering the execution name, choosing the product name, entering the product version, choosing the product URL, and selecting the automation set, clicking on Create button. Now navigating to the automation execution page, you can see that the newly created execution is listed here. The next step is to turn on the ACRA engine. I have already turned on the ACRA engine. Now we'll run the test set by clicking on the Run Test icon, entering the iteration name as Run1 and choosing the browser as Chrome. We have a checkbox called Raise Bug in Jira. When this checkbox is enabled, it means that if there is any failure during the execution, ACRA would raise bug in Jira under the mentioned project. When Raise Bug checkbox is being enabled, Jira projects will be displayed with the default project selected. User is still allowed to select any other project based on the requirements. As of now, I'm going with the default project, selecting the automation set and clicking on Run button. The engine has triggered the execution successfully. So now it's logging into JDE, fastpathing to P01012 application, And now it has to enter the search type. Once after the execution is over, the appropriate results will be updated in the engine GUI. Since execution is failed, ACRA has raised bug automatically for the failure, and it has returned the JIRA Bug ID and the JIRA Bug URL in the engine GUI. Now let's navigate to the result area by clicking the result chart of the execution, expanding the iteration and the test set, test case. This is the test step which has been failed. Clicking on the error details icon for that failed test step will show the complete details about the error, why it has been failed. In the above the error details section, Jira Bug URL has been given. Clicking on this URL will automatically take us to the bug page under the Jira account. This bug is actually raised by ACRA for the failure under the mentioned Jira project. We have mentioned the default project as demo. ACRA has raised a project under the ACRA has raised a bug under the default project as mentioned. ACRA has raised a bug with complete details including the execution name, iteration name, test step name, and the browser name that has been used for the execution. And also in the description, it mentions the test set name, test case name, and the test step name, action library used in the failed test step, and start time and end time of the failed test step. Along with these details, ACRA has also attached the screenshot and the error details for the failed test step. Now let's get back to the ACRA Cloud. In ACRA Cloud, we do have a menu called Bug Management. Here it shows the bugs that has been raised by ACRA for the failures. Clicking on this Jira URL will automatically take you to the bug page. Clicking on the show button will actually show the details of the bug, like under which project it has been raised, and the subject of the bug, and the description, which contains the complete details about the failure. This is how ACRA raises bug for any failure that occurs during the execution. Thank you.